there, welcome to our Palm Sunday episode of Cooking with Mama T. Today we're going to do baked chicken and an Ethiopian cabbage dish, which has become my favorites and a staple in my family. So we're going to start by putting the chicken in the oven because I generally bake my chicken between 3 and 4 hours. So I'm starting early so it'll get done. The chicken has already been cleaned. As you can see, and clean for me means there's no fat pieces left on the chicken. So all the chicken is clean, and we're using thighs and drumsticks today. So the chicken is already been cleaned, and because I bake it so long, I also like to spray my pan with a cooking spray to prevent so much sticking. And I'm going to put the ingredients in the description for you, but I use my Momma Tea, which has everything I need in one container. So the only season I actually use is my Momma Tea seasoning and vinegar and Worcestershire sauce. I do not cook chicken without vinegar, fried or baked. And I don't bake chicken without Worcestershire sauce and the ingredients inside of this. So you can just freely. It's hard for me to always say how much because it's up to your liking, but I tend to cover my chicken thoroughly with this seasoning because when it bakes into the juice, I like all of the seasonings to be inside of the juice. I am also going to include how to make gravy. We don't eat gravy anymore with our chicken, but I am going to include how to make gravy because I want you to see what you can do with the essence that's going to come off of this chicken. So as you can see, it is evenly covered. And I pour about 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. Maybe a little more for me. I would start with 1/4 cup, but because I really love the flavor of Worcestershire sauce, I do close to 1/2 cup. But I would start with 1/4 cup, just in case you don't know. And with the vinegar, you can pour it in the top and just spread it around. And don't worry about how much you use because you're not going to taste the vinegar when it's done. And if anybody is saying, ew, I don't like vinegar, if you ever had any of my chicken, be it fried or baked, you have vinegar. Because I use it. And you just add a little more seasoning to cover where the juice from the vinegar and Worcestershire sauce rub off. And it's not going to be too salty because I created this season, I was able to monitor the sodium level in it. That's why you see me use it so freely. And I actually cooked it covered on, it depends on how soon you want to eat it. If I had started earlier in the day, I would have cooked it on 300 for 4 hours. But because I'm starting a little later in the day, I'm cooking it on 350 for 3 hours. And that time may change. I'll let you know later if it does, but I think it's 350 for 3 hours of work. So we're going to cook it covered for 2 hours. You don't even have to bother, just let it go on its own because the juice from the chicken is going to keep the pan nice and wet so you don't have to worry about it burning. And in 3 hours, you'll have a nice batch of baked chicken. And now this is our chicken after baking 2 hours covered. As you can see, it's nice and golden brown. And it's actually really done because of the pieces were small. So you see how easy my knife is going through it. But my fork, I'm sorry. But I'm still putting it back in the oven because it's not quite where I want it to be at. So I may bake it for 30 minutes versus an additional hour. But we'll check it at the 30-minute point. And here is the essence that I was telling you guys about. So from this essence, I will make a gravy just for the sake of showing how to make gravy. And now we're going to do the gravy. As you can see, the essence is boiling, and I call it thickening, but the new name for it that I learned is called roux, but it's flour. So I did almost a cup of water. So to this cup, I added 3 teaspoons. And it's really important to make sure there are no lumps, because although the lumps will cook out, it'll just take a lot longer. And sometimes they actually won't cook out. But then there are times that I have seen white flour lumps in my gravy, and I'll just let it cook for almost an hour, and it'll cook out. But if you just kind of ensure that there's no lumps in it, you have to go by that step. And then we're just going to slowly pour it in as you're stirring. And that's another thing that'll help decrease the lumps. And generally, if the essence is as seasoned as I season mine, you won't have to put any more seasoning in it. And always keep a cup of hot water. And you just put the hot water in. And I would say start with a little bit so you can better judge your thickness. I'm pretty good at judging my thickness, so I pretty much know how much to put in. But I always say it's better to put a little and to add than to have to make some more thickening, because you can do it, it's just a little harder to get the consistency. And right now, that consistency is perfect. And I'm going to let this cook for about 20 minutes. I'm going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes just because I like to have my gravy simmer so all the flavors can get in. And I'm actually going to cover it, and we're going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Now we are cooking our Ethiopian cabbage dish. And we're starting with the sauteing of the onions. And then we're going to add the carrots. And we're going to let them saute for about 10 minutes. And we're going to add our seasoning, our cabbage, our potatoes. And then we'll have a nice Ethiopian cabbage dish. And this dish has turmeric, cumin, black pepper, and sea salt in it. I really love it. And now that our carrots and onions are sauteed pretty well, we're going to add our cabbage, which have been shredded. My husband shredded these so they're a little on the big side. But we're going to make it work. Matter of fact, they're a lot on the big side. So we're going to make it work. I would just say, point of reference, when you add your cabbage, when you cut your cabbage, make them just a little bit thinner so they're a little bit easier to cook. Because I'm definitely going to have to increase the time just a little bit on these. And I actually moved a little bit fast because you really should add your seasoning to the onions and carrots, but now mine is going on top of the cabbage. And we have a lot of cabbage here. And now to the cabbage, we're going to add 1 teaspoon. I'm actually going to add 1.5 because I have so many cabbage. And this is turmeric. This is what will turn it yellow. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of cumin. Cumin. I'm going to do 2.5. And I'm going to start off with 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And if I need more, I'll add it later. And as you can see, once I start stirring, you're going to see that the color of the cabbage are going to change. It should change. If I have enough turmeric on it, you'll see that it's going to change to a pretty yellow. And see how pretty the color is? The turmeric has changed the color, and it smells amazing. I love to smell cumin cooking anyway, but I never thought about adding cumin to cabbage. But this cumin, and I realize I'm not really a lover of turmeric by itself. Turmeric is very strong. I drink a turmeric tea because turmeric tea is good for inflammation. But using it in my food, I have to disguise the taste of it. But this cumin, along with the pepper and the onions, really good. So we're going to let this cook for 15 minutes, stirring occasionally, and then we're going to add the potatoes. Okay, we are just about done. And as you can see, I cut my potatoes up pretty small because the cabbage are just about done. And I don't want the cabbage to get overdone while the potatoes are getting done. You just mix them in. I used to like cabbage. This recipe has me loving cabbage. So now we're going to let it cook for 10 to 15 minutes until our potatoes get done. And as you can see, our chicken is done, nice and golden brown, tender to the touch. It's like falling apart. All done. Our Ethiopian cabbage dish is done, ready for dinner. And our gravy is also done. I added a little bit of yellow food coloring because I like the yellow hue when it's mixed with the brown, and it tastes great. I am loving it. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Cooking with Momma T. Please remember to share our videos with your friends and family, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can see when new recipes are added each day. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.